Hello, everybody. This is Alan Weisberg, your stress reduction and life recalibration expert. And I wanted to spend a few moments talking about loving yourself and how that relates to stress reduction. So we'll give a chance for a few more people to come in, and then we'll start. How is everybody today? Hi, Kim. Hello. We're going to be talking about self-love and how that relates to stress reduction or stress in general. Because if you don't love yourself, stress will arise just because of that. And again, my name is Alan Weisberg. If you have any questions before we begin, let me know. We'll hang out for just another moment and then we'll start. Okay. All right. So when we're talking about stress reduction, stress, unfulfillment are tied together. And when we're talking about unfulfillment, it's us not being happy with ourselves. And all of that circles back to loving yourself. If you don't love yourself, everything will be affected in your life and affected negatively. The way you perceive yourself, the way you perceive the world, the way you think that the world perceives you and your place in it, how much time you spend working on yourself, how much time you spend on your relationships, how much time you invest in becoming better. If you don't love yourself, all of those things will be questioned and you'll never be fulfilled. Regardless of what work you're going to be getting or what relationship you're going to come into, all of those things will be getting you back to learning to love yourself. Otherwise, you'll always be in an environment where you'll be dependent on other people. If you're in a relationship, you'll be dependent to get that love from somebody else. And you're not going to get that love in the way that you want to get it, in the way that you want to receive it, or in the amount that you want to receive it. You have to learn how to love yourself. You have to be able to go deep within and understand who you are. Remove your inhibitions about yourself. Remove your blames and faults and things that you don't like about yourself and start loving yourself. Once you learn to love yourself, and it's going to start with a simple exercise I'll give you in just a minute, but once you learn to love yourself, then you will never go back. It's not selfish to love yourself. It's selfish not to. Loving yourself is not being an egoist and saying that I am best ever and I'm only focused on my own happiness. That is not true. That just means that you accept yourself. Accepting yourself, knowing that you need to take time for yourself and loving who you are and appreciating the gifts. Hi, Jason. Appreciating the gifts that you have to offer to the world. That deals with loving yourself. The one simple exercise, and I say simple because it's not simple psychologically and emotionally speaking. What I want you to do once you're done with this, and sometime maybe that you'll find appropriate time today, is to go in front of a mirror, look in the mirror, straight into your eyes, and tell yourself out loud, I love you. And see what happens. Feel what happens within your body. When I'm saying that right now to you, and I'm seeing myself, so it's kind of the mirror exercise. When I say that, I feel energy going down my spine. When we're looking at the experiences and research that was done, thank you very much for the hearts, I appreciate that. When it was done by Dr. Emoto with water, and he took droplets of water and he put them under a microscope, and for each droplet he would say different words to it, and he would say, I love you, or I hate you, or he would give different emotions assigned to the different words that assigned to different emotions. And he would see within the microscope how that would change the water droplet, how it would change the expression of that droplet. And for the beautiful words like love and happiness, anything that was positive, it would be rewarded with a beautiful crystalline structure of water. and where it would be hatred, where it would be disgusting emotions, where it would be very negative things, you would see a really terrible kind of broken apart. The fact that most of us are water. I mean, look at our body. Hi guys, hello everybody. We're talking about self-love and how that relates to stress reduction. The fact that we're mostly water in our body, that we're over 60% water. If saying something nice to a droplet of water has such huge effects, thank you for the hearts. What do you think happens when we don't tell that to ourselves? Within us, we're mostly water. When you tell yourself that you love yourself, it reverberates. When other people are telling you bad things and you don't want to listen to it, on a molecular, on a vibrational level, we're affected by it. So thank you, Kim. I appreciate you sharing this. We are affected by this. If you are in, thank you very much, Kim, for inviting followers. If a droplet is affected by it, why aren't we doing that simple mirror exercise and telling ourselves, I accept you. I love you for who you are. I accept you. There are no faults with you. You are perfect. That doesn't mean that I weigh the perfect weight that I would like to weigh, or it doesn't mean that I'm always eating the right thing. It doesn't mean that I'm saying the right thing, but it means that I accept and I am you. I love you for who you are. You don't need to receive that love from somebody else because I love you. You want a hug? I hug you. And stand there hugging yourself. You're going to be crying. You're going to be crying, and a wall, a thick brick wall is going to come out. Thank you. I appreciate that, Jason. The wall is going to break down because we are reliant upon other people to give that love to us. We shouldn't be reliant on anybody else. That doesn't mean that we need anybody else, but that word need, we do not actually need anybody else. We would love to be around other people because of the energy, because of the interesting conversations that we can have, because of the exchange of ideas. There are so many reasons why we want to be around other people, but we don't need them. And when you're in a relationship, whether it's a work relationship or a personal relationship that is based on need, that is all you're focused on. By the time you're not getting what your needs and you're not getting them met, you're forgetting who the other person is and all of the beauty that they have inside of them. The reason why you're with them in the first place, you're forgetting that, and you're not focusing on it because of something that you need from them. It's not about need. It is about you loving yourself. When you learn to love yourself, you will accept yourself. You will start working on yourself to become even better, even greater expression of the best and most wonderful you. And then everything in your life will change. I am a stress reduction coach, among other things, and I see a lot of my clients, they are getting severe issues and severe emotional distress. There's that word that, hi Linda, because we are, or those particular clients, because they don't love themselves. And the amount of stress and amount of hatred and vitriol that they're putting on themselves is leading to all sorts of issues in their lives. So you want to remove your stress, learn to love yourself. Hi, how are you, Linda? Love yourself. Learn to love yourself. If you don't know that you can learn to love yourself, start with accepting yourself, liking yourself, forgiving yourself. Forgiveness is a huge, huge factor. Forgive yourself. So that is a small message that I wanted to relate to you. All my scopes are short on purpose. I can sit here and I'd be happy to talk to you all day, but I want to respect your time. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them, but that's the main idea. I wanted to make sure that you get to a point where you love yourself. Linda, forgiving is continuous. Absolutely. Right? There are actions within our, thank you for the hearts, I appreciate it. There are actions that we may have taken that we regret. And there are people who we cannot, quote unquote, forgive. But you can. And if you don't think that you can forgive, than a nice technique that I've seen utilized that may work for you. One dear friend of mine who's had some relationship issues, and a husband did something that she could not forgive him for. The way that she started to heal is she said, God, I know that I cannot forgive him, but you can. God can forgive anybody. So if you can forgive him, I'm okay with that, and that is a way for me to start moving forward. If you are religious, if you are spiritual, if that works for you, use that. You can forgive the person. You may not be able to forgive the situation. I appreciate the good info on the time. Thank you. Thank you. Um, Again, it's really all within you. Learning to love yourself, learning to accept yourself, learning to forgive yourself. Once you forgive yourself, a lot of the stress that comes into our lives is because of all of the baggage that we're carrying from what already happened. You need to let go of that baggage, and the way to let go is another way to forgive. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Kim. It's ability to forgive what happened, ability to forgive yourself for what has happened. Move on. Don't spend your life living in the past. Past is the past. It already happened. You can learn from it. You can go back to it and relive and experience it. Sometimes we think that staying angry is hurting the other, but we are punishing ourselves. Yeah, absolutely. You are punishing yourself for that. You may have not been the culprit of what has happened to you, but you are living in that environment and you are feeding off of that environment. What do you think the energy of that environment is like? It's not a very positive energy. Wouldn't you rather relive a moment where you're on the beach somewhere enjoying yourself? Live in that moment. And even so, I'd prefer for you to live in the present. Go back to that moment when you want to relax. When we're doing meditations for people and we're having them relax, we have them imagine a place that brings them comfort. Be in that place when you need to. Otherwise, stay in this moment. Don't carry that baggage with you. Don't carry anything that does not suit you any longer. Remove those bricks that you've been carrying around with you. Forgive yourself, which goes back to loving yourself. Don't worry about the future. A lot of the stress comes in because you were anxious about what we're going to be doing or what are the outcomes that we're going to be doing. One of the scopes that I did a number of days ago was about chess. I was never a good chess player, not because I'm not smart enough, but because I never cared about calculating every possible outcome, because that's against what I believe in. I live in the present. I plan for the future, but I'm not interested in spending all of my time in the future deciding what may happen if this person does that and moving 7 and 10 moves ahead. That was never the way that I was created. And I like myself because of that. It doesn't mean chess players are bad. It just means that they are exhausting a huge amount of mental energy on strategizing instead of living in the present. Yeah, prefer to be baggage free if I can. Absolutely, Linda. Baggage is great if you're going on vacation. Otherwise, leave it. Leave it in the garage or the basement. Thank you for the hearts, right? Baggage is there. It's by definition temporary. It's temporary, so you can use it and store it. Why do you keep your stuff in it? Let it go. Let it go. Let it go, right? Thank you, Chuck. Just joined. So that's what we're talking about. We're talking about letting it go. Whatever way works for you. And for me, it all starts with loving yourself. And for me, it all starts by looking yourself in the mirror and telling yourself straight out, with nobody around, just you, your eyes, soul to soul communication. Tell yourself, I love you, and see what happens, and start there. And do that every single day. You will change yourself on a molecular level. And then stress, and then relationships, and then everything else will change as well. Love yourself and say, I love you. Absolutely, Linda. Love yourself. Love is the energy that you want to be in. That's it. If you can be in that energy, do you think anything will bother you? Do you think you'll be stressed because your kids are going to be yelling or playing with each other? No, because you're going to be present, you're going to be grounded in this moment, and you're going to be surrounded by love. If you love yourself, then you'll always have love with you wherever you go. That means that you cannot be afraid of anything. That means that you know you have that support. You're not dependent on anything. You are you. And that's perfect. And that's enough. That is my message for you for right now. I'll probably be on later giving you some more stress reduction tips, but I wanted to tell. Kim, treat myself liking would be the best friend. Yeah, would be the best friend. Be your best friend. Many of us are afraid to be our best friend because we're afraid to spend time actually listening to ourselves. Because most of the time we're telling stuff, what? Where did that thought come from? Are you crazy? What are you thinking that for? Right? Stop. Allow that process. It's as if, thank you for the heart, I appreciate that. It's clouds, right? We are observing the clouds that go by. We don't look at every particular cloud and start arguing with it. Same thing with our thoughts. The thoughts are clouds. Observe them, laugh at them, admire them, and let them go. Be in the present moment. Love yourself. Love yourself. That's my message for today. So thank you very much for listening. Thank you for coming. I appreciate you taking your time. Again, I'm Alan Vaisberg, your life recalibration and stress reduction expert. Till next time, have a good day.